Really, it's the most difficult place for any group will concentrate, because between looking at me and looking to the beautiful Jerusalem, there's a fine line. So I am so certain that most of you guys, even though if you're looking at me or you try to look at me, your mind is in Jerusalem. It would be me. I would do the same thing, because Jerusalem is more beautiful than me and more valuable. And you know what you see, it's amazing on a nice day with the sun and with the reflection of Qubbat al-Sakhra, mashallah.
Subhanallah, mashallah.
Okay, but however, there's a lot of questions will be asked, especially on this mount here, you know, Mount of Olives, because it's valued to mostly all the religions. We'll start with the the closest to the farthest, and we'll make you and we explain to you what you see. First, this is a cemetery right here. It's a Jewish cemetery. The Jewish believe that the closest you are to the end, the closest or the first you'll be in heaven. It means that the closest you are, the end is going to be in Jerusalem, the end of days. Like we also believe Ardul Mahshari wal Manshar. They believe that on this mount, what they call it Mount Moriah, or the mount of the temple, is gonna generate 12 springs from the Sakhra, and those 12 springs, they will actually thirst or give water to the 12 tribes, and this is the end of days, and they will be first in heaven. So the Jewish choose to be more, buried as close as they can to Jerusalem, to the end. They pay so much money. If I tell you how much is starting to be buried here, you'll be amazed. $20,000 to almost $4 million to be buried here. And for the poor people who cannot be buried here, and they're going to ask me this question, what are those stones on top of those tombs that you see? For the poor people who cannot be buried here, they come and visit the people who's buried here. They take a stone and they put it on top of the thing. So when that person goes to heaven first, we remember the poor people. That's exactly the idea. This is the oldest cemetery in the world that is still till today it's been used. We have the Muslim cemetery on the top, we have the Christian cemetery on the bottom of the valley, and we have the Jewish cemetery, and right in the valley we have the Roman cemetery. It's almost 3,000 years old cemetery. You can see it from the bottom to the top. Actually, you can see that little tower right in there in the valley. This is one of the Romans, and even before the Roman days. Okay. The Muslim belief, it's a belief is not been mentioned in the Quran. Is not mentioned in the Quran that on the end of days, Ardul Mahshar wal Manshar, it's going to be right here. It's going to be built the bridge. Actually, the valley down below, they call it the Kidron Valley. It's an Aramaic word to the valley of fire or hellfire. It's going to be built a bridge from Mount of Olives to Jerusalem, a 7 arches bridge. It's sounded like a Sirat. And people going to walk on the Sirat, and who have sins is going to go down in the hellfire. Allah. And sometimes it's going to go to 40 and 60 and I don't know how many years for all of the sins that he have made. And then whoever had no sins is going to walk on the Sirat. Because of that, behind you, it was built a hotel. It's called the 7 Arches. The 7 Arches because of that bridge. What we call it in Muslim, probably the Sirat. There's so many ayat in the Quran that does not help this idea, because it says وَيَطْوِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْأَرْض تَكُونْ غَيْرُ. You can help me with the ayat, Hadrat al-Mufti. But what he's saying that the whole earth is going to change on the Yawm al-Hisab, because everything is going to go back and it's going to new land is going to be probably flattened, the whole land. I really don't know. I'm not a mufassir to know, but I don't think it's been mentioned in the Quran that is going to be in Jerusalem here. However, they saying that Ardul Mahshar, it means that the whole people from all of the Muslim world, all of the people is going to be gathered here in Jerusalem. We go up to what you see inside that yards of the Masjid al-Aqsa. The whole area, which is 44 dunums, is in Masjid al-Aqsa. You cannot say, well, this is Masjid al-Aqsa or this Masjid al-Aqsa. A lot of us will make a mistake. We think this is in Masjid al-Aqsa, the one with the gray dome, or sometimes people that they don't really know anything about Jerusalem, they think the golden dome is the Masjid al-Aqsa. This is the Masjid al-Qubli and this is Masjid Qubbat al-Sakhra. With that, we have another 5 masajid or musallayat inside Al-Haram al-Qudsi or in Masjid al-Aqsa. This is the place where Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad, أسرى من المكة من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى, and he ascended to the sky. This is where the gates of heavens. This is probably the open gates of heavens, and that's why a lot of times they tell us when we come to Masjid al-Aqsa that if you make dua, most likely, if you mean it, it's gonna be granted. Okay. All of the line of the mountain on the top to this section is the line of 1967 border. 1967 border. So all of this section, supposedly as of the agreement, or if they want to divide, is going to be with the Palestinian Authority, with the Palestinian state. However, today no. The border is another 5-6 kilometers far that way. All of this area is Arab neighborhood. Jerusalem is divided to 4 quarters as of today. The Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, the Armenian quarter, and the Jewish quarter. Okay? The Muslim quarter is usually on the north side, and it's the biggest quarter out of all of them. It means 4 neighborhoods inside the old city. The old city is contained with the wall that you see around Jerusalem, and the wall, it was built one more time by Sultan Sulaiman in 1563. The area of the old city is about 450 dunums. 450 dunums. Jerusalem, I don't know what else I can say about Jerusalem.
Okay, Masih. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.